Hi everybody, it's Perry Aquatics, and let's get on to the video of what's been going on lately. Yeah, everybody. I know it's been a while. Haven't posted anything in about a month and a week or something like that. Been going through some personal things, stuff like that. Moving, yada yada yada. So I haven't really done anything video wise for the tanks. Um, One, because moving, stressing, stuff like that, I didn't want to post any of the chaotic mess, stuff like that. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna basically gonna go about. I'm gonna show you how everybody's been, how all the people's been doing, and introduce you to the two new ones that I got, and I'll show you what I did with the whole setup. Because as you can see, the bottom, I no longer have my big 75, 80 gallon tank down there, moving, stuff like that. So I had to readjust, I guess is the word you could say, for what's been going on. Had to downsize for things in a way. So we'll get into all of that here very, very shortly. To me, it'll be a few. To you, it'll be seconds. So you'll be all right. So basically, let's get into what's been going on. All right. Now, sorry, camera angle, yada yada yada. Now, what we got going on here, give you a little different angle, perspective, point of view, I guess, with the camera lens. Notice we got a smaller one, and I still got the pink one, but things happened with that one. And now what I'm going to end up doing is using that for a different line, different variation that I'm trying to go for. Because I did happen to notice something in my Blue Dream tank. I know I say a lot. So basically what had happened is this tank right here, my Blue Dream tank, I have black ones. What seemed to be really prominent, like black. Like, there was only one of them so far that I've seen out of like the 5 that are in there that I've noticed. That has a very like, almost, I don't know how to explain it, like a Nightwing blue, on just the variation of the edge of the skirts. And the other ones don't seem to have any variations of blue. So I ended up making blacks by accident out of my 20 gallon Blue Dreams. Didn't expect that at all, but I'll take it. And I'm in love with it. What I ended up doing here with this one is 2.5 gallon. And it's just got a handful of ones that were picked from this tank right here. Always saying, so this is the tank that was in the bottom, right? Okay, this is the tank that was in the bottom. And with that tank being in the bottom, the big 80 gallon, I figured I had a lot of shrimp in it. So what happened was, a little feeding for the moment, everybody gets the same thing kind of stuff. Tried to do bloodworms the other day, yada yada yada. Everyone was pretty happy. But with this one, they're green, but they came from this tank that came from blue reds. Best way to say it. Like, I had one red female, one blue female, and one blue male in that giant tank in my other later videos, my earlier videos. And this is all of the babies that came from that. Also, let me get a good one here. I'll show you what else I decided to try and see what I could come up with in this manner of peoples. So, give me just 1 second. Reorganize. So, this is the orange tank. This is what it looks like for the moment. Big ol' ram horn. So as you can see, kind of chaotic. Got my pothos growing in there. I've got Java moss growing back here, but as you can see, the other algae took off as well. Same stuff that you would have with mothballs and stuff like that. It's same, I think. I wouldn't know. My shrimp don't seem to mind. The orange ones were pregnant, and they were getting pregnant. I had 2 buried females out of the 7 that are in here. I don't know why they don't want to breed. It's been going on like 6 months now or something. So I've been starting with feeding on bloodworms and stuff instead of wafers and pellets and cucumbers and stuff like that. Give them actual meaty, proteiny diet, I guess. Better way to put it. Learning from a lot of people that I've been watching on YouTube and I've been following for a while and stuff like that. Like Mark's Shrimp Tanks and stuff, and Shrimp Mania, and so on and so forth. I've been trying to work with what's working with me, I guess, out of everything that I've learned and watched and experienced myself and stuff like that. I've just kind of left it alone. I know they'll stress out, especially my orange ones. They love to stress out on me if anything goes. If I was to pull this out, they'd lose their mind. They'd lose their mind. They would quit doing everything that they're doing, basically. So I don't even want to touch it because, when I moved them and they were buried and I finally got them in the new spot, all of my buried females threw away all of my eggs. And I've been looking and I've been searching and no one's pregnant again yet. And there are no babies. It's been well over 2 weeks with that. So hopefully they will start up again, and hopefully everything will start going with that. So hopefully here soon with the different diet I'm giving them and the leaves and the bloodworms and the frozen brine shrimps and stuff like that, hopefully they will start doing a lot better with that kind of stuff. I scoop out as many snails as possible. My girlfriend has 3 pea puffers, so I just feed my overabundant of snails to the pea puffers, which kind of works out in the end because, we all know how pests can be when we don't want certain things in our tanks and our aquariums and stuff like that. And bladder snails were definitely a pain in my butt to get rid of, but I got a lot of them under controls. And the ramhorn snails, I think, are a lot easier because, instead of having those like little jelly gooey sack things that, I've noticed that they lay like almost like mystery snail egg sacs. They're like, I've only found them so far about probably the size of a dime. So far, no bigger. And they're orange sacks, and they tuck them into the substrate and stuff like that. So you could easily just pull the ramhorn snail sacks out if you know what you're looking for. I think if that's what because it regulates a lot, and I don't ever see. And the ones I do see are the bladder snails that end up leaving the gooey egg sacs all over the place. So with that, I've been doing a lot of just removing them. Basically, I get them in this little corner right here, and I scoop them out with a net, and that's okay because, I only got 6 or 7 full adults in here, and I'm not really gonna take anything with me, because I have, female. The one back there on that, I believe, is one of my males. I have 2 more females and another male in here. They all love doing the crazy stuff and hiding and crap like that. But pretty much I've been trying to get these guys to just settle back in a little bit, get healthier, more comfortable. Oh, there's my other female. get more comfortable and try and see if they will breed for me again. Let's move on to the next tank on the top shelf. So this one is the red blue that I had in the giant 70 gallon, 80 gallon tank, 75, 80 gallon tank in the bottom that I had to minimize down. Unfortunately, this is all I could do for the moment. Yes, you're probably going to yell at me and all sorts of other stuff. Probably can't see. She's right there. You have a beautiful chocolate bristlenose pleco here. She is definitely plump. That's a little surprise that I decided to try and do this time. See what I can do with those. I have a male in here too as well. He is back in one of his tunnels. They got 4 tunnels here. They have this giant piece of driftwood. As you can see, the what is that? I don't think that's guppy grass. I can't remember. 3 or 4 different pothos plants growing out the top. Along with the roots and stuff like that. And there's not much substrate down here actually, because when I had to mow everything, I netted everything up, and this is some of the substrate that came with it. Because I tell you what, it was a pain in the butt to get everything here in this tank, and I got it. I did it. No peoples were left behind. Definitely tell you that. This is kind of the stuff. There's Mama. And that's kind of everything that they were given. And you see the jellies, the blue dreams. There's a couple of Rillies in here, a couple of carbines. And this is also where I ended up pulling out green ones too. And I put them in their own separate tank. We'll get onto that in a minute. But this is just, yep. Sorry for the shaking, guys. And of course, you see the wild type in here, and, Mama, this one has produced a lot of the babies that are in here, along with, she's buried behind everybody back here, but that one right there, the light one. Her and her have, Waldo. And those 2 females have given me all of these babies. And there are some, like the wild types and stuff, I'm absolutely pulling out of here. This was just kind of an experiment to see what would happen. Because I didn't have an actual cull tank, basically. I know a lot of people believe that culling would be like, killing and stuff. Some people do. Some people put them in other tanks, and, the fish and nature and all that stuff, they take over. I don't necessarily do that, because even some of the most weird looking ones or whatever could kind of give you some really cool looking ones and stuff like that. And I didn't expect to have like really cool carbine looking ones and really cool Rillies, and the fact that a blue red gave me some greens, and I think there's another green in there too right there. So I'll get into all that later, and I'll fish it out and stuff. But this is the tank that I'm hoping my plecos do something. And I don't know if the shrimp will have an effect on them or anything like that. I know like they have an effect on the shrimp, and since putting my plecos in the tank and stuff like that, my population has definitely grown up a bit. More buried females, a lot more consistently and stuff like that. So I think that's a really good thing, because food from the plecos, they eat it, and the discharge, and everything like that, and then they eat everything that they discharge, and so on and so forth. It's just, that vicious, nature cycle that they do, and I think it's really cool that they have been blown up like that. That's what I'm hoping with the whole protein thing that I've been doing with my with all the tanks and all feeding everybody and stuff like that. That hopefully they get buried more often and more pregnant mamas along the way and stuff like that. And I think that would be really, really cool. Hopefully that works out, and the next month or so with doing that, I'll definitely show you guys how everybody's been doing. Um, with that in mind, that's tank number 2. Let's move on to tank number 3. So this one here is my crystal tank. As you can see, some of them have brown tints to their black. Other ones have straight black. Honestly, I do believe that is because so I got a pack of Taiwanese bees, and it was my screw up. I did have a 12 pack of these that I bought, half and half with reds and blacks, and then it came with 4 golden bees. So there was extra shrimp in there, which I thought was really cool. But I had them for months, and then I ended up getting Taiwanese because I wanted to throw some Taiwanese in here to see what would happen. And unfortunately, they ended up getting dropped off when I was at work, and I thought when I got home everything would have been fine and okay, and I started acclimating them like I do, my 2-3 hour process of acclimation and stuff like that, and slow acclimation, and everything was good. They were still swimming and doing their thing in the bag, and they were going on hour 3, hour 4 of acclimation and getting the temperature right, because the other room was different temperature than this one, so I don't have to control it as much anymore now. It's already, it's that temperature of the room is this, and it's wintertime, Christmas almost, so I think that without heaters in my tank is brilliant. It's good. But I put the Taiwanese in here, and everything seemed fine, and then I woke up the next day, and all my Taiwanese were dead. And then I fished those out, and over a course of a week, everything in this tank started dying. The ammonia spikes and all that crazy stuff. And to be honest, like at that time, I was doing really good with the crystals. Like I thought I was doing great, and I had that collapse, my mess up, and I felt horrible, so I didn't get anything. So Mama's right there. That's Mama. I don't think Daddy's in here anymore, because when I moved, I haven't seen him since. I think he died on me, unfortunately. I think he passed. Could have been age, could have been the stress of moving, and I know that crystals are extremely sensitive. So honestly, it was probably the move in the wintertime. But these are all of her babies. And he was a red crystal, so that's why some of these have the brown tints in them. But as you see, he's not here anymore, and she still is. And most of these are pretty beautiful. It's like, first off, look at the grading. To be honest with you, let me adjust this. I think that's good grading. I don't want to toot my own horn with nothing. I don't think all of them would be like double S's or anything. Like I still got to breed some of the stuff out, and and stuff in, but I think they're doing really good, considering, and I think they look beautiful. The fact that Daddy was a red one and Mom was a black one, but they're actually doing pretty good. So, with that said, I am trying to see if I can get them to breed again for me. And I don't really do too much with the tank. I do dialing back the light, because you can see all the hair algae and stuff like that, which I don't mind it, to be honest with you. I know, depending on who you are, people care what it looks like. I don't. I have been watching Ulf Marx shrimps and shrimp tanks, and been trying to learn a lot of stuff from them and the way they do it, and Shrimply Canada and a few other people. I'll make a list one day with a video for the inspirational stuff. Yada yada. um, right now I'm just gonna show you what I got going on, and I'm happy with what is here, and I'm definitely waiting for more. She was buried again before I had to move, but with the move, she ended up throwing away the eggs. So, learned that one myself. When I move, definitely make sure that they're better taken care of and less stressed out, and do my best not to do it in the wintertime, but if I do, there's nothing I can really do about it. Stuff happens, life happens, yada yada yada. Even the plants coming out of the top are, doing gorgeous. Everything's doing really good. We're not worried about this tank. This isn't anything yet. I'll explain all that stuff later. Basically, Beta's in here. I'll just do it now. Beta's in here to get rid of all the scuds and all the fleet, yada, yada, yada. I'm prepping this one for the blacks. Why the purple? It was just a tank that I had. I didn't want to disassemble because there's nothing wrong with it. So on and so forth. I'll pull that out later. But, like, water's fine. I could test it right now for you guys and everything. The water's fine. It's just got to clear up. It's just, I needed her in here to clean a bunch of stuff out for me before I started putting the black ones that came from another tank, and I'll get to that in a bit. But, with that said, these are the crystals. This is how they've been doing, holding up. The tank's looking a little messy, but unfortunately, I like that, and it's looking good. They got green everywhere. They have moss everywhere. They got algae and everything they need everywhere, even the little rocks. So, if they, more of them, end up getting buried and stuff like that, everybody will have what they need, and I think that'll do wonders. I've been feeding them high-protein diets and stuff, and snacks and all that, and the wafers and the pellets, and so hopefully they do pretty good here soon. And with that, let's get on to tank number 4. Alright, so you're probably not going to see anything out of this one, which is okay. It's a little 2.5 gallon, stuff like that, just to get a couple of the babies that I spotted from the red blue tank over there with the plecos. They gave me almost completely green babies, and I say almost completely because their heads are just a slight blue to them. So I want to raise them up and get them to mature age, proper, sizing. There's only like 4 or 5 of them in here, and see what I can start with that. Maybe I can, breed out the blue and get the green rolling and make my own lines of stuff like that. Because I did mix a couple lines, to create the lines that I've got going for the blue dreams that I do have. So, with that in mind, if I can take the green jades that are in here and breed them with the green jade. Oh, there's another one. Yeah, you can already see a worm and everything. Healthy tank. Oh, crazy stuff. Beautiful. But with the green jades down there, when these ones get big enough and start making a line with that, and hopefully that tends to work out like I'm hoping. I got a couple plants at the top, and patch of moss, Java moss, and I believe that's Ludwiggia. I can't remember. Rotalia. One of them too. It's the pink variety. Which I have a straight up tank with nothing but plants in it for the moment because I'm trying to. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Trying to grow out my own, raise my own. It's cheaper that way. Oh, so sorry. Excuse me. You're an adult. You can burp. You don't got to talk through it. But with making my own plants. I know it'll take a little while, but with the course of, I believe, 6 months or something like that, I've only bought 5 bundles back then, and everything that you see is from those 5 little bundles. They were of different types of plants, but only certain ones did survive. And honestly, with this stuff right here, I literally got a small chunk of it, like that, when I ended up getting Blue Dreams. And it has been in every single tank. In the past 6 months, it has been blowing up in all of my tanks, and I won't get rid of it. I'll just let it accumulate and find something else to shove it in. That way, it can just continue to go and go and go, because it's actually a really great place for the biofilms and the stuff that the shrimp, the peoples eat, the shrimps eats, and stuff like that. It's beneficial bacteria, is all that crazy stuff. It's got everything they need to it. So I have it in everything basically, which I'm okay with. But that's what this tank is for. Is it's basically to grow up the greens. I don't want to say green jades, but they're green shrimps that came out of my mixed tank over there. So we'll see over the course of the next couple of months and see how they turn out, how good their colors stay and stuff like that, because they're small and they're already pretty green. So hopefully that darkens up and it doesn't lighten up as they get older. And I think that would be really cool. With that being said, I believe that's basically it with this one. I didn't have to wait very long with this tank either, actually. Um, the sponge filter back there has been sitting in my Blue Dream tank for ever. It's been used off and on with my other one, back and forth to keep all the beneficial bacteria alive. And I do that with a lot of my spare filters. If I have spare room in my tanks, I leave spare filters in there. That way, if I ever need to swap anything around in the tanks, or if I need to quick start and quick cycle a tank, I have plenty of sponge filters to do that with. And that's all I use are the sponge filters. But let's check on tank number 5. Now, this one. Sorry, hold on. Alright, sorry about that. No, this one is my green jade tank. So I ended up getting the oranges, the crystals, and these guys from the same website, the same supplier. I'll get into where I got most of my stuff later on, maybe in a different video or something. We'll go from there if you guys want. So these are the green jades that I got from ordering online. Nothing to do with the ones that are up top. And as you see, this is what they've kind of given. Like, these are the parents, and what they have given me are not green, and they're not green jades. So I have to take and call these out and put them in my girlfriend's tank, because she's got a guppy shrimp tank. Gorgeous little tank. But I want to put them in there, with her permission, of course, to get them out of there, because I really don't have room right now to have any more types of tanks going right now. I mean, I could push it, but I don't want to, reasons and stuff. But anyway, sorry. This is Green Jades, beautiful tank. Like, I kind of went with the more like a slanted style, more natural looking, and neocaridiners are pretty hardy, pretty good. They can actually withstand a lot of substrate, a lot of different types of substrate, and they're okay with it. Like, honestly, I think like my TDS in this one is like 400, something like that. I won't do that with my crystals. My TDS, my crystals is no higher than 180. And if it gets in the 170s, I start to take care of that and lower it back down. But that's only when I gotta add water. Basically, I don't do water changes on any of my tanks. First off, for the substrates, especially with your aqua soils and stuff like that. It keeps the substrate, the aqua soil for longer. It keeps the nutrients in that stuff for longer, so you don't have to change it every 6 months. Doing a water change, every week, every 2 weeks, whatever it is that you do. All I do for my tanks is top them up and clean up a little bit if I need to. But I literally just top off the water. Like, it'll dissipate, it'll get so far, and I literally just re-add my distilled. I use distilled water. There's a place around that I can get it free, or I go buy it at Myers in the 2.5 gallons because it's cheaper that way than buying single gallons. But there's also hydroponic store, for growing, your fruits, vegetables, stuff like that. It's a cool little store that you could also go get 10 gallons a day for free per person. You get 10 gallons of RODI water. And I'll use that stuff as well. But that's literally what I use out of everything. I will not use too much tap water at all. And if I do, what I do to retop all of my tanks off is to add them up, add the jugs or whatever it is that I need to do, fill up the water, I put my air stones in it, I dechlorinate it, and then I let it sit there for about 3 or 4 days. And actually the TDS in the containers start to dissipate, and it starts to, for me, it drops, because over time, like, you're dechlorinating it and mixing everything up, and depending on what you put in there, strips the minerals out or whatnot, or it doesn't, and stuff like that. So you're just making it healthier. And I only do that with my neocaradinas if I absolutely have to. So with these guys later on, I will be getting a top off, as you can see. And they should be absolutely wonderful, especially because the TDS on the tap water here through the filter is like, I think, what was it, 80, 100, something like that, anywhere between 80 to 100. Can't quite remember. And I want to darken these guys up, and I only have like 3 or 4 of them that are this, and this is from the original batch. These are all from her, and it's because one of the males in here that was in here forever ago, he was in the middle, basically, of their coloring, and yeah. Wasn't too happy with the order when I got them to begin with, to be honest with you guys, nor my, the Taiwanese and so on and so forth, but it is what it is, and I'm not going to go blabbing and, oh, this person, don't do this, don't buy, because not everyone's going to have a bad experience with, buying from someone, and it's not all the time that you're going to have a bad experience yourself buying from someone all the time. It could have just been that one hiccup, But I think after, the second run or third run or whatever, because, you always want to give people the benefit of a doubt. Anything could happen, especially because, weather, shipping, people handling it without cares, anything between leaving the store and getting to your home, anything could happen. So it's not anybody's fault. That's why I will never go back. No, I'll give people tries. Absolutely. If it wasn't this one this time, or, I'll get a different thing, or, I want to get the same thing because I want to see if it happens again, in the same way, maybe they come back even better, something like that. But I don't like the way these green jades are. They're bloody see-through and yellow, man, and I don't like it. Tank is gorgeous. The tank is beautiful, in my opinion. Like, landscaping, I could do better. Just the first try of doing one, to be honest with you. But second, my red blue dream tank over here is the first, honestly, and it's backwards from where it's sitting now. So, but a lot of stuff happened with the move, and I'm showing you guys everything that I got going on. What's happened with our peoples and stuff like that, and how everything's been going on with the channel, and I've been trying to get there, and between everything that's been going on, it's been real hard to get there. Plus the holidays and stuff like that. It's been a pain in the butt. But I will do more consecutive shorts here and there, and I will do my best to try and do videos like this every so often. Just to keep an proper update, I guess, on how everything's been, what it looks like, and, just stuff like that. And there's my coffee, because peace. All right, you know what? We'll just do it this way because I'm sitting right here. All right, so to be honest with you, this is my first Blue Dream tank. You know, again, that this is the first Blue Dream tank I started with, and you can see compared to the ones up top for the first Blue Dream tank that you guys saw in this video, you can see that beautiful difference. Granted, yes, there's still stuff I gotta call out, but look at those colors, you know? Double carbines. I gotta pull out. That's beautiful Blue Dream right in the front right there. That's gorgeous blue. That one too. That's the first one I started out with. I stayed with the Aquasoil. You know, compared to when I was doing them to before I ever started a channel. I'll say last year. Literally, I think. Yeah, last year. Anyway, this is all the restart stuff, and this is how everything's been going. Since the beginning of the channel type stuff, and this is what I've been doing to keep everything rolling, going, yada yada yada. This one definitely needs a fill up. But the thing is this tank actually, I like this tank being low, and it's just a personal preference of view and the way everything works out, and it's easier for me to lay my pothos plants up top and stuff when I want to start them and grow them. You know, all my plants are doing wonderful. I'll get to that in a minute. Actually, I'll save that for last. Anyway, with this tank here, this was the first Blue Dream tank I started with. I bought a 10-gallon. I bought a sponge filter with, and you know, got a heater. I know it's 100 water, but it's a heater. And there's about an inch of Aquasoil in there because I was recapping from how I did it originally and stuff like that. Just trying to keep it as close as possible. That way that I knew when I bought the shrimp I was going to buy again, they weren't going to have too much. Like, I wasn't going to have too much of a struggle, and I knew what I was getting myself into because that's what I kind of started with. And I wanted to also keep in mind, too, that one day I want to get Caridinas and try those, too. So I stuck with Aquasoil for a while. And under every tank that I got that's like this, there's actually Aquasoil, about half an inch of it. And then there is gravel on top of it. And then I layered it with sand and stone. And so far, this tank has been doing absolutely wonderful. All of them are going to need just a scrape of the glass, some algae scrape, and just a top up of everything. I'll just fill it up a little bit more, not everything, and don't judge me. It's okay if you do, but some of my tanks, like I do this with, and honestly, it's worked out beautiful for me because this one actually helps me with starting and populating pothos plants the way I need to, and you know, the roots. And then it also helps me germinate with the Java moss and stuff like that. It helps me grow it more. Like, this is just one that I find the really cool, beautiful color ones too, and I'll pull them out and then I'll put them in the other one. And then I'll pull out the bad ones and I'll put them in there, and then I'll pull, you know, with the plecos, and then with the bad ones from the plecos, I my girlfriend takes, and so on and so forth. So that's how I call everything, and I just separate everything, and I don't want anything to die unless, if it does, it does. Nature takes its course, because I love the way that it's like, ants in my little tank, but, little sea bugs, little freshwater bugs and stuff like that. They're water bugs. I love it. It's cool. Um, this tank's done me pretty well. This tank's actually got me every blue dream that you see that I have. They've originated from this tank. And as you can see with the colors too, they're doing beautiful. They're doing wonderful, and I love that. It's great. It was the colors, I guess, that really got me to start with, and when it came to shrimping. So that's why I kind of really adore them, and they have the most tanks out of all the tanks that I have so far. And it's because I also want to do some Taiwanese bees again, if I can ever get my hands on them. And start from there again, but I'll put them in the tank that I have sitting here and separate everything, let them grow up, and so on and so forth. But let's go check on the 7th tank. Yes. Now with this one, this is the 20-gallon long. This one has, unfortunately, a regrowing pothos. She stress died on the move. A lot of stuff happened on the move, and everything started stressing, and it was a pain in the ass. It was a couple hours of disassembling everything, hunting everyone, making sure everyone's cared for. It was a lot of chaos, to be honest with you. So that's why I don't, as you can see, like I can't feed them every day, heavily. I don't want to cloudy up my tank. But as you can see, like, these guys are doing wonderful too. Beautiful. This is the 3rd blue dream. This was the 2nd one I set up to try and like separate some of them, and I decided to go with this tank, I guess, because it's bigger, so I figure it would accumulate more. But I'm starting to learn a few other things myself, because I'm no expert with this stuff. So better diets, better proteins, higher stuff like that, and these guys definitely breed a lot more. And with no water changes too, just top ups, like complete stability. Like, of course, yes, I will clean up anything I need to. When it comes to excess foods and stuff like that, I'll take care of everything that they need. See, like that, yeah. Say I had to call this tank this week too, as you can see. They're beautiful colors to me. Beautiful coloring. And this one actually has the black ones in it. It's only like anywhere between 3 and 5 of them, but they're straight up just black. Unless I'm colorblind. So I want to pull them out when the pink tank is ready. And ask why the pink tank. Basically what I want to do is when they start breeding and stuff like that, I want to see the blue in it, I think. Either way, it might be the camera angle, or I'm blind. Like, posted a video earlier, and it shows you the black ones I'm talking about. But I want to put them in the pink tank, and if they breed out true black, I'll know, basically. And I think having black Neocaridinus is kind of cool, actually. So, and the fact that I've gotten them off of a red basing, natural stone edge, this is what I'm talking about too. With the other tank, this is why I say this tank's backwards. You're not supposed to see this stuff. When it got put on the shelf, it got put backwards, and I didn't notice right off rip. I was just trying to hurry up and get everybody taken care of. And under all of that gravel is also aqua soil. pockets of the gases and airs and all that lovely, lovely stuff in the division of everything breaking down. You can see where I use certain stuff like the red clay stonage and stuff like that, and and you can see all the minerals and stuff like that developing over time. And it's cool. It's really cool, crazy stuff that I like too. These guys have been doing well. These guys have been doing wonderful. The plants have been doing amazing as well. I literally just did a trimming on every tank that had an overabundance of them, and it was just this one and the other one. And I'll show you what I got when it came to that. So, in a moment, of course. But, and then this tank's doing really well as well. I got to call through these guys as well. And it should be on and popping again with everybody. These guys are just gorgeous. And I'm really happy with the outcome and everything that came with, doing my blue dreams and not letting anything ruin it. And I've been keeping it going, and it's been amazing. And that's why I want to keep doing it. I want to get better at it. Learn my mistakes, stuff like that personally. Learn from other people's mistakes, stuff like that too that I've experienced. And it's been great. Sorry about the camera shaking. I'm trying to keep the dog at bay. But that's, these guys are awesome. These guys are beautiful little creatures, and they make me extremely happy with just everything, Life's overwhelming. Stare at a tank. Life doesn't seem so peaceful. Listen to the water. Listen to the bubbles. Listen to your airflow or something. Listen to the way it is and how your, little critters or peoples or whatever you want to call them are doing. And it, definitely help take your mind off things. That's why I want to definitely build a fish room one day. And I want it to be a good one, So, but let's get on to the next one and see what we got. All right. So this one, fix this camera. This is literally, I only have half of this tank left. These are the trimmings and then everything. I didn't want to throw away any of that stuff, any of the overgrowth stuff. I wanted to put it in this tank that I have been running for months. And there's nothing in it. There's the occasional snail I see every so often. I don't do nothing to it. I feed it fertilizers and stuff like that, and maybe I'll just show you after all this stuff. Screw it. Sorry about that. But this one is full of plants. I literally, as you can see, the aqua soil, I heavily fertilize every so often, and stuff like that. And I've been letting this tank basically accumulate and keep all the trimmings and the plants and stuff. And what I did is I kind of learned this from bloody hell. Mark Shrimp Keeping. I can't remember right now. I really need to write this stuff down. Wow. Anyway, sorry about that. He uses little suction, thingies and barbecue skewers. pokes a hole through the center of the suction cup, puts the barbecue skewer, through, and he wraps this moss around it, and then he, wraps threading around that to keep the moss there, and then he sticks to the side of the glass, and then over time it, of course, does what it does, and she repeats that process and, puts it in other tanks, and so I thought that was a good idea to do with with like a lot of the moss on all of my tanks that I figured I could do that with, and I didn't have barbecue skewers, I had chopsticks. So what I did is I took a chopstick, which is actually right here, and I split it down the middle, and then I just snapped it in threes, trimmed off the edges. I glued rocks to the ends, just the tips of the ends, and then I wrapped my moss around that, and threading around the moss, and I dropped everything down here. They're in literal bars of moss, and over time when I accumulate things, because that's just the stuff I had on hand that I used. Me and my woman like a lot of yeah. Anyways, what I did is I literally took my ends and I, aquarium safe super glue, and I glued my trimmings to the ends of rocks, and over time, they'll absolutely take off, because that's absolutely how I did the green jade tank, and it's how I did the blue dream tank, and you know they'll take off over time. Cannot remember what this is. I forgot it was even back there, because did a huge trimming last week, and I threw all the plants in this tank, and it's got pothos growing out of it too as well. A couple of them. One that's grown underwater, as you can see, has no problem. They just, once they acclimate like that, pothos will take right off, to be honest with you, at least from my occurrences and opinions and stuff like that for what I've dealt with. I mean, it's different for everybody. This is just how I do stuff and how I've learned and stuff like that, and I've just adapted over time with things. Spare sponge filters, like I said. And, over time, I want this tank to basically be overloaded with, plantage in a certain way. That way I can start saving for when I can afford a bigger fish room, stuff like that, to get my 4-foot tanks out and stuff like that, and yada yada yada. But so far, yeah, that's what I've got going on so far. So with that, and that being said, guys, I hope you guys sat and enjoyed the video. I hope you guys liked anything or the information I had to say. Have any questions or liked it, don't be afraid to like, follow, like, comment, all the above. No worries to me. Hope you guys enjoy your day. Hope you enjoy your holidays. And now I'll leave you with a quiet, peaceful little video. A couple shrimps.